So if you're looking to get in shape and lose weight and you want to buy a Fitbit but you're on a budget, the brand new Fitbit Inspire 3 might be the right fitness band for you. With a new color display, a heart rate tracking, sleep tracking, a 10-day battery life, and a proven track record of helping people get healthy, Fitbit's always a really easy recommendation as a smartwatch reviewer. But here's the thing. Even though this is an affordable option relative to most smartwatches, it's still a very competitive space. There's so many other fitness trackers out there that are selling for a fraction of the price. So does Fitbit justify their $99 price tag with their suite of features and their app? Well, we're gonna talk about that throughout this video. So, welcome back to the channel. For anyone new here, I'm Mike O'Brien, and like I said, this is the Fitbit Inspire 3. It just came out. I've been wearing this for a little while though, past couple of weeks, and I want to talk about, first of all, the design. We'll get into the accuracy testing and the features and the software, but the design is also one of the reasons I think a lot of people will be buying this. Some people don't want a big bulky Apple Watch or some other smartwatch. They want something thin like a little band like this. And so this comes in 3 different colors, but you can also swap out the bands very easily. So like right here I have a little metal chain one, like a chain bracelet there. That could look really nice if you're trying to dress up like a little bit more formally with it. Or of course the silicone straps, you can swap them out for tons and tons of different colors. Personally, I am a big fan of the yellow one right here. And in this little tiny body here, you're actually getting a 10-day battery life. Personally, I'm using it, I'm getting about 9 days, which is still very impressive. Usually people claim 10 and you end up getting like 5 or 6, so 9 days is really pretty fantastic. The display I said is new, so unlike the old black and white displays on the Inspire 2, we now have a color display. Easy to see in bright daylight, great color on here, and it does actually have an always-on display option as well. So if you don't want a black screen on your wrist, you can have the always-on display, which does reduce your battery to about 3.5 days from my testing. On the side, you'll see that we do kind of have these little sensors right there. There are some force sensors to pinch it, so there's no physical button on here, but you pinch it and that's your way to go back home. And when you do that, it actually feels nice. There's a little haptic feedback, a little vibration inside the device that lets you know that there was actually a touch registered. Of course, the front is a touch screen as well. Unfortunately, the display is a little bit on the small side, so it looks like it would fill the entire space, but there's a pretty large forehead and chin, so to speak, a large bezel on the top and bottom here. But one other thing to note is, I mentioned the other watch bands. You can also wear this. Fitbit has a little clip that you can wear and just like put it on your shirt or on a backpack or on your belt. And so that's a great way to kind of track your movement, track your steps. Obviously not your heart rate, but it's a good way to track it if you don't want to wear it on your wrist. Now, as a side note, this is not the only device Fitbit is releasing. They're coming out with a very exciting Fitbit Sense 2, their flagship smartwatch, and the Fitbit Versa 4. I will be reviewing both of those very, very soon, so be sure to go down and click that subscribe button so you don't miss that video. Some other things that are new with this device compared to the previous version is it now has an SpO2 sensor for blood oxygen, which will give you more in-depth sleep analytics, more accurate sleep tracking as well. We have a 50-meter waterproof rating, so you can go swimming with this with no problem at all. And of course, as I said, that new display. But overall, a pretty simple design on the outside. Of course, the inside is where you really start to get a lot of the benefits of this device, being the activity and the health tracking. So let's get into that. We've got 20 different exercises that you can track. You can have 6 shortcuts on the device itself. And when you're tracking workouts, Fitbit uses what's called active zone minutes, which when you're working out with a higher heart rate, it'll give you more active zone minutes. When you're working out more casually, like a walk, it'll give you lower active zone minutes. And it makes it like a nice, easy way to kind of track how much work you've actually been doing this week and if you're close or far away from your goal. Looking at the big picture is kind of the theme of this device, right? People who are buying this device don't want something like a Garmin Fenix that can look at every little detail of your entire life and gives you like raw data. People that are getting this are more likely looking to lose weight or get into fitness or just kind of casually track their workouts. And so looking at a big picture with digestible information is really critical. And they do that also with stress management as well. They bake in a lot of other analytics and give you an easy to read trend to show if you're managing stress well or not. Similarly, the sleep score, they'll tell you on a basic 1 to 100 scale how well you slept last night. And after you wear it for 14 days, they'll give you a sleep profile as well. They'll give you one of several different animals, and they'll tell you like, oh, you are an octopus or you are a dolphin. And if you are that animal, it'll give you a little profile and say people that are like you sleep a certain way. You might want to consider, having a fan on. Maybe those will help you sleep. And it can kind of give you some basic information about how to improve your sleep, which is obviously a huge part of being healthy. Additionally, we have WellBeing, which once again is a summary. It tracks your skin temperature, blood oxygen, heart rate variability, but rather than giving you all of those as separate information throughout the app, gives you a nice, easy to read location. We've got the daily readiness score, once again, which is similar to Garmin's body battery, and this will tell you like basically the biggest summary of, you worked out, you slept well, you look like you're ready for the day, you got low stress, like everything kind of baked into one. And this is a good indicator that you can look at and say, hey, this is my daily readiness is not as good as it was. Maybe I'm getting sick. Maybe I'm too stressed. Maybe I need to take a break. Maybe I need to work out more or less. And it's a really great way to do that. Additionally, we have irregular heart rate notifications and we have female cycle tracking on here. So lots of really cool stuff baked into this. But that information is only as good as the data it collects. So let's get into an accuracy test and see just how good the heart rate sensor actually is on this. I went for a run with this and I wore a known accurate heart rate strap to test out and compare the accuracy of the heart rate sensors here. And this device on a steady state run does a pretty decent job. It definitely lags a little bit as most optical heart rate sensors do, which means that if you're doing something like intervals, as I did late in my run, it's really going to break down and not be very accurate. But on a steady state run, if you're running approximately the same pace the entire time or not changing too much, it will do a pretty decent job. And so for what this device is meant to do, I don't think that the accuracy is necessarily a drawback. Now, this is by no means a large display, but Fitbit does a pretty decent job of showing you a lot on this display. So let's take a look at the interface. Starting off, we have our little watch face right there. They call it a clock. You can change this in the Fitbit app on your phone, and you have lots of different options, lots of different colors. Some of them are more readable, some of them are a little bit smaller and less readable, but look nicer, and it's a trade-off that you can choose on your own. If we swipe from the right to the left, we can go through our different widgets, and so we've got notification, we've got our exercises, and exercise, like I said, we have 6 of them, so if we just swipe up, we can go into any one of them and go into check out maybe kickboxing, for example, and we can go and start that workout, we can set a goal, and we can change some settings related to that as well. If we swipe from the left, that'll go back, or we can pinch the sides to go back to home. And swiping through here again, notifications, exercise, relax, which is like a 2-minute breathing session, guided breathing. We've got alarms on here. This does also have the Smart Wake alarm, which tracks your sleep, and it'll wake you up within about 20 minutes of your target wake up time, but it'll do so at the optimal time in your sleep cycle, so you're not waking up in the middle of a really bad part of your cycle where you're really groggy. I find that if I do this, waking up from a vibration is not for everybody. It works well for me, and when I wake up, I just feel a lot more refreshed. I think it's a really nice feature to have. Of course, we have timers, and we can go back to our home display there. Swiping down from the top, we've got our quick settings, so you can change auto wake. When you lift up the device, it'll just automatically turn on the display. We have do not disturb, so if you don't want notifications, this does, of course, get notifications, calls, and texts, and things like that. And if you have an Android, you do have quick replies. We also have a water lock, so if you're going to take a shower or go for a casual swim, but you don't want to track it, you can go and turn the water lock on. And of course, we can go back up to settings. And then going back to home, swiping down, this is kind of a summary of your day where you can get all of your analytics for how many steps you took, what the date is, the battery life on the device, how many miles you walked today, the active zone minutes, how well you slept, your heart rate, like really everything that you'd want to know that this device measures, you can see down here, including blood oxygen and things like that. But of course, there's, like I said, it's a small display, so it's hard to really dig into those analytics, and that's where the app really comes into play. So if you open up the Fitbit app on your phone, not only can you customize your Fitbit Inspire 3, but you can also dig into your analytics and see a lot more about the graphs and the charts of your sleep and your heart rate and things like that. Breaking down some of the positives and negatives with this device, the positives, especially compared to a lot of other bands, is that this does have a temperature sensor for skin temperature. I think that's a huge positive, unlike a lot of other ones, and this only in the future is going to get better for tracking female cycle tracking or tracking your sleep, detecting if you're getting sick, things like that. Additionally, it works with Tile, so if you lose your device, you can use Tile to find it. Really a great way, a really great integrated app as well. And of course, you're getting the whole Fitbit ecosystem. When you go into that app, there is so much you can do with that, but not everything is great with this device. Getting into some of the drawbacks, as I said, the display is small and hard to read. If you have less capable vision, that is going to be difficult, or if you even have good vision, like I have pretty decent vision, and when I'm going for a run, I find it's a little bit difficult to read the information on such a small display. Additionally, another con is that the Mi Band and other devices like that are substantially cheaper. The Mi Band's around $50 where I am, so that's about half the price of this one, and you're getting some more features on there as well, like a camera shutter, weather, things like that. The third big drawback here is that there is a paywall. That's something that Fitbit does across all their devices, meaning if you get this device, you can use it for free, of course, but if you want to access some of the more in-depth stuff like daily readiness, advanced sleep analytics, wellness reports, stress management, mindful session, like there's a lot of stuff going on, basically anything that makes it worth more than the Mi Band, you have to pay a monthly fee to get Fitbit Premium. Now, you're getting 6 months of free Fitbit Premium when you get it, but again, having that paywall is something that frustrates some people out there, myself included. And then the last drawback I wanted to point out is that there are no music controls on here, at least right now, something that Fitbit could certainly release as an update. So in conclusion, this device itself looks nice, but dollar for dollar, it's not inherently the best value out there, right? Like the Mi Band, like I said, does a lot of the same stuff, but it's half the price. But it's still a great recommendation, in my opinion, if you're willing to get Fitbit Premium and if the money's not your biggest concern, because the Fitbit software has a proven track record of helping users succeed in their goals. I know a lot of people that lost well over 100 pounds using nothing more than a Fitbit Inspire. So if you're looking to lose weight, get in shape, or get a better handle on your health, this is a fantastic and subtle device. The app makes the data easy to interpret, it gamifies the day with move reminders and animal sleep profiles, and it makes your fitness journey easier to follow, but it's obviously not for hardcore athletes or anybody who needs GPS or anything more than that. But leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the new Fitbit Inspire 3. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.